It's common for trainers to take for granted just how great of a brand they've built in person when they go online. You see, all the things they've been benefiting from that they don't even necessarily know that they've been doing all these years, they now don't have to play for their advantage. This is the case actually with Bree, who you hear from today on this hot seat call. Now, what we do is every 2 weeks in my mentorship, we do a hot seat where we take about 15 minutes for each person and we dive deep into their own situation. And so in Bree's case, she's been a trainer and built up a great community and a great reputation locally for the last 15 years, both at golf courses and in her own community. And she's built up that brand. And now online she's struggling. And she also doesn't really like the online bit. She doesn't really like the content and the social media. And so what we do is we really dive deep into her situation and create a plan of how she can take advantage of assets she's already built, as opposed to starting from scratch basically on day one and leaving behind the 15 years of branding experience that she has. And so I hope you enjoy listening to this. I really enjoyed this conversation. Most of all, I hope that it helps you perhaps see and recognize the value in what you've already built and perhaps learn to utilize what you've already built a little bit better. Enjoy. So, Bree, same type of thing. If you can just really, really quick, give me like kind of who you serve and what we're talking about today.
Okay. Well, my avatar is active women over 30, mostly fat loss oriented. I kind of similar to Victor. I split my time. I don't have my own in-person training, but I still train in person 2 days a week. That is a different market. That is like active adults over 50 who
Okay.
like at a wealthy retirement golf community.
Okay.
Um, my major struggle is time management. I also have 3 young kids. So finding time, like creating content is not my jam. Even DMing is really not my jam. I've found some pretty decent success because I have worked around the area and I just have like I've been in fitness for like 15 years now. So I just have a lot of contacts from group fitness and training over the years. But I'm not having a lot of success kind of expanding into the social media world of people who I've never met. And I kind of had an aha moment when you were talking to, I think it was Adam a few weeks ago, and you were talking about the untapped potential in our local markets.
Right.
So I've been trying to, I don't know, think of ways to try and take advantage of that because I seem to have the most success with people who have some know, like, and trust factor with me already.
Yeah, I mean, just one thing you said that jumped out to me right at the beginning was you have 15 years of branding in your local
Mhm.
market.
Mhm.
Online, you have zero. And so that is one of the things that I I fear is taken for granted a lot. Like how much work you've done without knowing that you've been doing the work. Like you've been building this reputation for so long. And I mean, the any time that anybody meets you and is somewhat tangentially interested in hiring you and they ask somebody else who's influential or they trust and they're like, yeah, I've heard of Brie, I know somebody who worked with her and had a great experience, like you're in. And
Yeah.
benefit of that the benefit of that is just, I can't describe it with enough words. You everybody talks about like, oh, how do I market, how do I build a brand, how do I build a reputation online. It's like, well, you're comparing 15 years of experience doing that exact thing in this one place and starting brand new in another. And at the same time, you're basically saying you don't like creating content.
No, I don't.
So I think you answered your own question. And you answered your own question on the document too. So I had a bit of a cheat. But so what, I mean, you mentioned the golf course.
Yeah, I struggle a little bit because a lot of them have a lot of ailments. So, and some of
Okay.
them, I mean, some of them literally can't get off the floor unassisted. So, like, that's an in-person scenario for the
Hmm.
most part. Um, but I also live in a neighborhood full of my like online target market. So I've been considering like renting out of my garage and doing little free classes or like boot camps or whatever classes
Yeah.
in the park, this and that.
Yeah, I mean,
But there's money out at the golf course, and they know me.
there's money in a golf course for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, there's definitely a lot of money in golf courses. I mean, what do you like? Like, what fires you up? Is it more working with people with ailments? Is it more working with, I mean,
No,
perhaps other parents with
no,
young?
I like working with people kind of near my own age who are like finding balance and
Mhm.
like feeling strong in their own bodies, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's energetically, I can just see like I don't know if anybody else can hear it, but I can hear the difference in your voice when you talk about the two audiences. And so there's a couple potentials here, right? If there's that business at the golf club, my first question to you would be like, do you have to be the one? Do you have to be the one fulfilling that, or is there somebody else potentially that you can hire to work for you, that you trust, that you can kind of give some clients to, um,
That's
or do you
interesting.
decide it's just not for you? Um, like if you're generating those customers, um, is there anybody else locally by you? Like if somebody came to you when you were coming up in the game and they were just like, "Hey, I've got this brand at this local golf club. We've got a lot of clients. I can't serve them. They charge out at whatever they charge out at, whatever, 80 or $100 an hour. Give me 25% of it, and you know, you can have the
There may
client
be a
under my
possibility.
name."
Yeah, it's contracted through the club is the only thing. So
Yeah, that's different.
I'm a subcontractor
That might be different then. So then,
through the
I mean,
club.
there's potential there, but I'd have to know more about the agreement. I mean, could the club subcontract your company,
Potentially.
right,
Why
versus
not?
you, and then somebody else is just a representative of your company? Just means you would have to handle the administration versus somebody else handles it. But that's you know not hard to do. Like the billing and perhaps chasing after people for money. But if you're gonna have to chase after anybody, chasing after them for money is a good thing to chase after them for.
Yeah, right.
And then you talked about the neighborhood thing, and I think about that a lot because I mean, my wife is in a similar situation. We have two young kids, and I just think about how easy it would be for her to build if she wanted to get back into personal training ever. How easy it would be for her to build a clientele locally. I mean, even
Mhm.
so much as she just like organized a group of women to work out in a garage,
I do that.
and they just invite others who invite others who invite others who invite others.
Mhm.
Or every time you're at the park with your kids, like wear a shirt that says personal trainer. Like
Yeah.
it's so cringe, but like, oh, I was just in between clients and I took my kids to the park. It's like, it doesn't matter if like your last client was yesterday and your next client is tomorrow. You're still in between clients. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and I just, God, I mean, if those are people you want to work with, like, is there anybody who's imagine if you were to see, let me put it this way. I'm thinking about my neighborhood, so I don't know how yours is organized, but there's a few parks, there's obviously places, there's kind of common ways that people walk throughout the neighborhood to get to
Yeah.
either the main street, or like there's kind of like the pilgrimage to the school every morning, right? Like everybody walks like the same couple paths, if that makes sense. And I'm wondering, if somebody were to put up a sign that said something like, "Hey, my name's John. I live in this neighborhood. I've got 3 kids, and I'm working hard to balance all of them and fitness. I've been a trainer for 15 years. If this is something you also want to work with, give me a call." Like, just like, not a personal trainer, lose fat, gain weight. Like, could you do it kind of more as like an appeal from a neighbor, like, "Hey, I'm one of you."
Yeah.
Um, and I'm even going so far as like I would just like type that up on Microsoft Word and just when advertising and marketing, it's funny because everybody tries to make
Like
their stuff
tape
look
it on the
good.
mailboxes.
Just tape it on the mailboxes. Like everybody
Yeah.
tries to make their stuff look so good and be so polished. Meanwhile, it's like the janky ass stuff actually usually works better. because it's more personal. It's more trusted. It's like, no, I'm one of you. I'm a neighbor here. And then of course, once you have these people and you can help them and you have that reputation, hey, not sure if you knew this, but I also offer a lot of support online. So, if you know anybody who's outside of the neighborhood, and then
Okay.
it's way easier to expand to online from people you're already serving. This is why, like, Victor was a good example, right? Like people at your gym, members at your gym. It's way easier to expand online if you have a gym, if you have that type of thing, than it is if you're just randomly trying to attract people with social media. Because then somebody at the gym or somebody else who you're working with in the neighborhood can be like, this woman lives down the street from me. She's amazing. I see her all the day with her kids at the park. She's incredible with her kids. I don't know how she does it. She's fit. Like I hate her. Like she's fit. She's got it all together. Um, I mean, people. I that's gonna be a way. It seems to me like that's gonna be a way smoother path for you. And like, I don't know. You tell me. Does it feel almost more right, more human?
It
Like
does. It does. Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's just tough online, but face to face with people has always been my jam. And like, I come from a group fitness background, so that would be an easy, you know, doing a group fitness thing in my garage and building from there would be huge.
or even, I mean, yeah, for sure. Is there like a local park that kind of all the kids play at
Mhm.
and stuff?
Mhm. Mhm.
And are there times, I'm thinking about with us, there are certain times of the day when basically the community, everybody who has kids just gathers at the park. And the
Yes.
parents largely, I mean, we're tight with some of our neighbors and we're often talking, but the parents are usually just like kind of standing around. Maybe somebody has a book, people on their phones. Generally, the parents are like kind of bored, right? I always thought it would be really cool to say, hey, we're all sitting here because our stinking kids are maniacs from 5 to 6:30 every single night, and we got to get out of the house. I really love talk about a charity or a foundation that you're really passionate about. And so, I'm just going to host a volunteer or I'm going to host a charity workout in the park while our kids are jumping on the thing and, you know, volunteer donations, but $20 a head, and all of the money is going to go to the Humane Society or the Sick Kids Foundation or whatever you're most passionate about.
Sure.
And just like get the parents up and moving. Like, how cool is
Awesome.
that? Right. And there's nothing, you don't need a permit or anything like that. I mean, you're not doing anything professionally. It's donation based. Um, the trouble that I've always had with the garage is like a garage is still kind of personal.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard to be like, hey, come and like work out in my garage. I think it's easier for a female trainer than a male trainer to say that, but uh, but kind of come and work in the garage versus we're all at this park anyway. We're basically locked here because our kids are here. Um, and you could try different things. I don't know what would be more successful, or maybe different ones. Like, hey, we're gonna do a stretch. Hey, we're gonna do a yoga mindfulness session, or hey, we're gonna do like a functional workout, like whatever, right? And then the
Yeah.
kids are going to join, and then the kids are going to see their parents working out, and how beautiful is that? And just like
Mhm.
what a cool kind of community thing. And then my worry for you is that that's going to grow and get to the point where it's going to be so big that you're going to need like other trainers to help facilitate it. But um I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'd be a good problem to have.
I think people should worry a lot more about what's inside their fence, metaphorically, before they start thinking about what's outside. And these community driven initiatives, I mean, they're just, for no other reason, they're just like special. And they just feel good, and everybody that's a part of them feels good. And it's notable and it's remarkable because it's almost flies in the face of convention. It's just like, no, this person just like wanted to bring a little community together and isn't doing the social media thing, and isn't that cool? And she's so, I like her so much. Anything you want to add before we move on, Brie? How that kind of lands?
No, that was super helpful. I love the idea.
Cool. All right. Hey, thanks for listening to this conversation with Brie. I wanted to recommend another podcast episode for you to listen to. If you're in your podcast app, just flip back to the obvious choice and look for episode 11, Buying $500 from a Meat Truck, Future Me Hates Current Me, and Tuk Tuk. This is actually one of our funniest episodes, but it also really nails down what you do to get clients versus what you do online, and they're really not the same type of thing. And so if you need to improve your sales, posting on Instagram is cutting it. I think that you'll really enjoy episode 11. Hope that you enjoy that. Additionally, this conversation that I had with Brie was part of my business mentorship. If that's something that you think that you might be interested in, please head on over to Instagram. I'm at It's Coach Goodman. Shoot me a DM that just says mentor, and myself or my team will get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks.